Hello there. I'm Luna, and welcome to Stories for Sleepless Nights. Here, we journey through the vast landscapes of history, unravel myths and legends, explore the wonders of nature, delve into fascinating biographies, ponder philosophical ideas, and much more. Each story is crafted to help you relax, unwind, and gently drift off to sleep. Tonight, we will embark on a journey through one of history's most magnificent and influential empires, the Mughal Empire. We will trace its remarkable rise from humble beginnings, witness its golden age of cultural and architectural splendor, and understand its eventual decline. The Mughals left an indelible mark on India, shaping its art, architecture, language, and culture in ways that are still visible today. From the majestic Taj Mahal to the vibrant traditions of Indian cuisine, their legacy continues to resonate. Before we begin our story, let's take a moment to settle in. Find a comfortable position, whether you are lying in bed or resting in your favorite chair. Gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, feeling your lungs fill with air. Now, slowly let it out, releasing any tension you might be holding. Breathe in once more, deeply and slowly. And as you exhale, feel your body becoming heavier, sinking into the surface beneath you. Let your mind become calm, quiet, and receptive. Allow the gentle rhythm of your breath to guide you into a state of peace. As you continue to breathe softly, prepare to journey back in time to an era of emperors and empresses, grand palaces, and timeless tales. Let the story of the Mughal Empire unfold around you, carrying you towards a peaceful and restful night. As we journey back in time, our story begins not in India, but far to its north, in the rugged lands of Central Asia. There, a young prince named Babur faced a life filled with challenges. Born in 1483, Babur was a direct descendant of two of history's greatest conquerors, Timur on his father's side, and Genghis Khan through his mother. This royal lineage filled him with a fierce ambition to reclaim and build an empire. Babur's early life was a constant struggle. He was only 11 years old when he became ruler of a small kingdom called Fergana. He quickly learned about warfare and betrayal. He lost his kingdom, then won it back, only to lose it again. He was a wanderer, often without a home. Yet he never gave up his dream of establishing a lasting domain. His gaze eventually turned south towards the rich lands of India. In the early 16th century, India was a fragmented land. There was no single, strong ruler. Instead, many smaller kingdoms and sultanates dotted the landscape. The most powerful of these was the Sultanate of Delhi, ruled by Ibrahim Lodi. But even Lodi's power was weak, and many local lords wanted to break free. This created a ripe opportunity for an ambitious outsider like Babur. In 1526, Babur led his army into India. He met the massive forces of Sultan Ibrahim Lodi on a wide field near Panipat, a place that would become famous in Indian history. Babur's army was much smaller, perhaps only 10 to 15,000 men, while Lodi commanded over 100,000 soldiers and 1,000 war elephants. But Babur had a secret weapon. He brought gunpowder artillery, a technology not widely used in India at that time. He also used a clever military tactic called tagluma. This involved dividing his army into flanking units that would encircle the enemy, attacking them from the sides and rear. Battle was fierce, but Babur's tactics proved brilliant. His cannons caused terror among Lodi's elephants, which turned and trampled their own soldiers. The flanking movements of Babur's cavalry broke the enemy's formations. Sultan Ibrahim Lodi died on the battlefield. This victory, known as the First Battle of Panipat, was a turning point. It marked the end of the Delhi Sultanate and the beginning of the Mughal Empire in India. Babur, the wandering prince, had finally found his permanent kingdom. Beyond his skills as a warrior, Babur was a man of many interests. He was a gifted poet and a keen observer of nature. He wrote an autobiography, the Baburnama, which gives us a detailed and personal look into his life, his thoughts, and the world around him. He described the plants, animals, and people he encountered with great detail. It is interesting to note that Babur, despite conquering India, did not at first care much for the land. He missed the cool gardens, fresh fruits, and pleasant climate of his Central Asian homeland, finding India's heat and its perceived lack of amenities less appealing. Yet, he stayed and laid the foundation for one of the world's most magnificent empires. Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire, died in 1530, just 4 years after his great victory at Panipat. His son, Humayun, inherited the vast but still fragile empire. Humayun was a kind and learned man, but he lacked his father's fierce resolve and military skill. He faced immediate challenges from his brothers, who each wanted a share of the empire, and from powerful Afghan chieftains who sought to reclaim their lost territories. One of these Afghan leaders was Shah Jahan. He was a brilliant military commander and a clever administrator. Shah began to challenge Humayun's rule. After a series of defeats, including a major battle at Kannauj, Humayun lost his throne to Shah in 1540. The Mughal Empire, so recently established, seemed to vanish. Shah Jahan then ruled over much of northern India for about 5 years. During this short time, he put in place many important changes. He built a strong system of roads, improved the postal service, and introduced a standardized silver coin. He also reformed the way land was taxed, making it fairer for farmers. These changes made the government run more smoothly and helped the economy. Though he was an enemy of the Mughals, Shah Jahan's work laid a strong foundation that future Mughal emperors would later use and build upon. Meanwhile, Humayun was forced into exile. He spent about 15 years wandering, eventually finding refuge in Persia at the court of the Safavid ruler. During his time there, Humayun saw magnificent art, beautiful architecture, and a rich culture. This exposure to Persian styles deeply influenced him. He brought Persian artists and architects back with him when he finally made his move to reclaim his empire. In 1555, after more than a decade of exile, Humayun returned to India with Persian support. He defeated the successors of Shah Jahan and recaptured Delhi. He was once again the emperor. However, his triumph was short-lived. In 1556, just a few months after regaining his throne, Humayun was walking down the steep stairs of his library when he heard the call to prayer. He hurried to kneel, caught his foot, and tumbled down the steps. He died from his injuries a few days later. The sudden death of Humayun left the empire in a difficult spot. His son, Akbar, was only 13 years old. He was just a boy, too young to rule alone. But Akbar was fortunate to have a loyal and wise guardian named Bahram Khan. Bahram Khan became Akbar's regent, which meant he would rule for the young emperor and guide him. The empire still faced threats. A Hindu king named Hemu had taken Delhi and was preparing to challenge the Mughals. In 1556, the Mughal army, led by Bahram Khan, met Hemu's forces at the Second Battle of Panipat. This was the same field where Babur had won his great victory. Bahram Khan fought bravely, and the Mughals secured another crucial win. This victory firmly established Akbar's rule and removed a major threat to the young empire. Under Bahram Khan's guidance, Akbar began to consolidate his power. He started to expand Mughal control, leading his armies in many successful campaigns. Early in his reign, Akbar also began to put new systems in place. He introduced the Mansabdari system, which was a unique way to organize both the military and the government. Officers, called Mansabdars, were given ranks that determined their pay and the number of soldiers they had to provide. He also continued the land revenue reforms started by Shah Jahan with the help of his finance minister, Taj Mahal. These early steps laid the groundwork for a stable and powerful empire. After the crucial victory at the Second Battle of Panipat, Akbar, guided by Bahram Khan, quickly grew into a powerful and visionary emperor. He inherited an empire that was still finding its footing, but he would transform it into a grand and stable realm. Akbar's long reign, from 1556 to 1605, is remembered as a golden age of expansion and harmony. Akbar had a grand vision for his empire. He wanted it to be built on tolerance and cooperation, a place where people of different faiths could live together peacefully. He introduced a groundbreaking religious policy called Salai Kul, which means universal peace. This was a radical idea for his time. To promote this idea, Akbar built a special place called the Ibadat Khana, or House of Worship, in his new city of Fatehpur Sikri. Inside the Ibadat Khana, Akbar held regular discussions and debates. He invited scholars, priests, and wise men from many different religions. Hindus, Muslims, Jains, Zoroastrians, and Christians all came to share their beliefs and engage in lively talks. Akbar listened to them all with an open mind. He wanted to understand the truth in every religion. These discussions helped him shape his policies of religious tolerance. From these debates, Akbar also developed a spiritual path for his closest associates, which he called Din-i-Ilahi. This was not a new religion meant for everyone. Instead, it was a way of life based on universal moral principles like kindness, justice, and peace. Only a few trusted nobles chose to follow it. Under Akbar, culture flourished like never before. He was a great patron of the arts. Mughal miniature painting reached new heights, with artists creating incredibly detailed and colorful works. Music, literature, and poetry also thrived. Akbar's court was filled with talented musicians, poets, and writers. His reign also saw magnificent architectural projects. Akbar built the grand city of Fatehpur Sikri near Agra. This city had many beautiful palaces, mosques, and courtyards, all built from red sandstone. One of its most famous structures is the Buland Darwaza, a massive gate that stands over 170 feet high. It was built to celebrate Akbar's victory in Gujarat. When people walked through this towering gate, they entered a city designed for a great emperor. Akbar himself was a remarkable man. Even though he never learned to read or write, he was incredibly intelligent and curious. He had an amazing memory and could recall complex facts from discussions. He loved to learn and often had books read aloud to him. He was always asking questions and seeking knowledge. He also had a legendary appetite and could eat a great deal of food. He often participated in the intellectual debates at the Ibadat Khana, asking sharp questions and challenging different viewpoints. Akbar was also a brilliant military commander. He led his armies in many successful campaigns, expanding the Mughal Empire across a vast territory. He conquered northern India, including the rich region of Bengal, and extended his rule into parts of the Deccan Plateau in the south. By the end of his reign, the Mughal Empire covered an area of over 1 million square miles. Akbar's ability to unite such a diverse and large empire through both military might and policies of tolerance truly earned him the title Akbar the Great. Akbar the Great left behind a vast and prosperous empire. His son, Jahangir, took the throne in 1605. While Akbar was known for his military might and religious tolerance, Jahangir was famous for his deep love of art, nature, and beautiful gardens. His reign marked a time of great elegance and artistic expression. Under Jahangir, Mughal miniature painting reached its highest point. Artists created stunningly detailed works, often focusing on portraits of the emperor, scenes from court life, and delicate depictions of animals and plants. Jahangir himself was a keen observer and patron. He personally commissioned many of these paintings. He wanted detailed records of the natural world, so artists painted birds, flowers, and animals with incredible accuracy and beauty. He would often spend hours looking at these artworks, appreciating every fine brush stroke. But Jahangir's court was not only shaped by his own passions. His wife, Nur Jahan, became one of the most powerful and influential empresses in Mughal history. She was an extraordinary woman, known for her sharp intelligence, keen political sense, and strong will. Nur Jahan came from a Persian noble family. She married Jahangir in 1611. Soon, she began to wield significant political power. She effectively ruled alongside Jahangir, and sometimes even for him, especially as his health declined. Coins were even struck in her name, a very rare honor for a woman in that era. She sat at the balcony watching court proceedings, and her decisions were often final. Her influence spread to many aspects of the empire. She had a major impact on Mughal architecture, introducing new designs and styles. She also set fashion trends, and her taste for elegance was seen in court attire and jewelry. Her political decisions helped stabilize the empire and manage internal affairs. She was a master at forming alliances and handling state matters. During Jahangir's reign, the Mughal Empire continued to expand, though it faced some internal rebellions. These challenges were often skillfully managed by Nur Jahan, who proved to be a capable leader in times of crisis. Nur Jahan was not just a political figure and fashion icon. She was also a talented designer of gardens, creating beautiful spaces that blended Persian and Indian styles. She loved the outdoors and was an accomplished huntress, often joining Jahangir on royal hunts and showing remarkable skill with a musket. The reign of Jahangir and Nur Jahan brought great beauty and political skill to the Mughal Empire. But it was their son, Shah Jahan, who would take this grandeur to new heights. Shah Jahan is known as the Builder Emperor because his time on the throne was marked by amazing architectural splendor and wealth. The most famous building from his reign, and perhaps in all of India, is the Taj Mahal. This magnificent white marble mausoleum was built as a memorial for his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal. Their love story is a sad and beautiful one. Shah Jahan loved Mumtaz Mahal deeply. She was his trusted advisor and companion. She traveled with him even on military campaigns. Sadly, she passed away in 1631 while giving birth to their 14th child. Shah Jahan was heartbroken. He promised to build a tomb for her that would be unlike any other. The building of the Taj Mahal took over 2 decades to finish. Thousands of skilled artisans, craftsmen, and laborers worked tirelessly on the project. They used pure white marble, brought from quarries hundreds of miles away. Precious stones from all over Asia were inlaid into the marble in complex floral patterns. Imagine workers carefully placing tiny pieces of jade, crystal, lapis lazuli, and turquoise into the marble. Huge blocks of marble were lifted and shaped by hand. The entire structure was designed to look like a piece of paradise on earth, combining Persian, Islamic, and Indian architectural styles into one stunning monument. Water channels and gardens were carefully laid out, meant to represent the gardens of heaven. The Taj Mahal was not the only grand project of Shah Jahan's rule. He also ordered the building of the Red Fort in Delhi. This massive fort, with its walls of red sandstone, housed royal palaces and halls. Inside, there were special areas like the Diwanayam, where the emperor met with the public, and the Diwanaikas, a private hall for important meetings. The Jama Masjid, one of the largest mosques in India, was also built by Shah Jahan. Its towering minarets and vast courtyards were designed to hold thousands of worshippers. His taste for luxury was also seen in the legendary peacock throne. This throne was a masterpiece of gold and jewels. It was covered with hundreds of rubies, emeralds, diamonds, and pearls. The most striking features were 2 peacocks made of jewels. Standing behind the throne with their tails spread out. This throne was a symbol of the immense wealth and power of the Mughal Empire. A popular story is often told about the artisans who built the Taj Mahal. It says that Shah Jahan had their hands cut off so they could never build another structure as beautiful. However, this is likely just a myth. There is no real evidence to support such a cruel act. Shah Jahan's reign, though grand, ended in a harsh struggle for power among his sons. This bitter fight for the throne set the stage for Aurangzeb, the next emperor. Aurangzeb fought a long and brutal war against his brothers, Dara Shikoh, Shuja, and Murad Baksh. He outmaneuvered and defeated each of them. In the end, he imprisoned his own father, Shah Jahan, in the Agra fort. Shah Jahan spent his last years looking out at the Taj Mahal, the monument he built for his beloved wife. Aurangzeb then took the throne in 1658, beginning a long and often difficult rule. Aurangzeb was a powerful and ambitious military leader. He greatly expanded the Mughal Empire, taking it to its largest size ever. His armies marched across vast stretches of land, particularly in the Deccan region of southern India. He spent many years leading campaigns there, trying to bring all of India under Mughal rule. These wars were costly, both in lives and in money. However, Aurangzeb's rule also marked a significant change in the empire's policies. He moved towards a more strict form of Sunni Islamic rule. He brought back the jizya, a poll tax on non-Muslims, which his great-grandfather Akbar had removed. He also ordered the destruction of some temples. These actions created much anger and discontent among the Hindu population and other non-Muslim groups. The atmosphere of tolerance that Akbar had worked so hard to build began to fade. These new policies, combined with the constant warfare, led to many rebellions across the empire. The Marathas, a group of Hindu warriors from the Deccan led by their formidable leader Shivaji, rose up against Mughal rule. The Sikhs in the Punjab region and the Jats near Agra also started their own uprisings. These conflicts were not small skirmishes. They were long, drawn-out wars that drained the empire's money and manpower. The constant fighting meant that the central government struggled to keep control over all its vast territories. Aurangzeb himself was a very disciplined man. He lived a simple life, unlike the lavish emperors before him. He was known to be an ascetic, meaning he avoided luxuries and lived plainly. He was a skilled military strategist and a hard-working ruler. Yet, his policies, though perhaps driven by his beliefs, created deep divisions and widespread unhappiness. These policies weakened the very foundations of the empire, even as its borders grew. Despite his immense power and vast conquests, Aurangzeb was known for his personal austerity. It is said that he earned his own money by stitching caps and copying the Quran. He used this money for his personal expenses, refusing to spend from the royal treasury on himself. This was a stark contrast to the opulence of his predecessors. Aurangzeb's long reign, marked by vast conquests and strict policies, had stretched the Mughal Empire to its limits. When he passed away in 1707, the empire was at its largest, but it was also deeply troubled. The period that followed is often called the era of the later Mughals. This time saw a quick series of weak emperors. They could not hold together the vast lands that Aurangzeb had fought so hard to gain. The strong central power of the Mughals began to crumble. Many powerful regional states started to rise up. The Marathas, who had already caused trouble for Aurangzeb, became a major force in western and central India. The Sikhs in the Punjab region grew stronger. In the east, the Nawabs of Awadh and Bengal became almost independent rulers. The state of Hyderabad in the south also broke away from Mughal control. The empire's authority slowly disappeared, leaving a patchwork of independent kingdoms. Adding to these internal problems were devastating attacks from outside. In 1739, Nader Shah, a fierce ruler from Persia, invaded India. His army marched into Delhi, the Mughal capital. The city suffered a terrible sack. Nader Shah's soldiers plundered the city, taking immense wealth. Among the treasures he carried away was the legendary peacock throne, a symbol of Mughal grandeur, and the famous Koh-i-Noor diamond. This invasion was a huge blow to the empire's pride and wealth. It showed the world how weak the Mughals had become. Later, Ahmed Shah Abdali, an Afghan ruler, also led repeated attacks into India, further weakening the already fragile Mughal power. As the Mughal Empire faded, new players entered the scene. European trading companies, especially the British East India Company, began to gain more and more influence. They had come for trade, but they slowly started to get involved in Indian politics. The Battle of Plassey in 1757 was a turning point. In this battle, the British East India Company defeated the Nawab of Bengal. This victory gave the British a strong foothold in India. From then on, their power grew steadily, and they started to control vast territories. The Mughal Empire, once so mighty, slowly shrank to just a small area around Delhi. Its emperors became mere figureheads, rulers only in name. The final symbolic end came during the Indian Rebellion of 1857. Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, was exiled by the British. With him, the great Mughal dynasty, which had ruled for over 3 centuries, officially came to a close. Even though the Mughal Empire fell, its legacy lives on. The Mughals left behind a rich tapestry of culture, architecture, and art that forever changed India. The Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, and countless other monuments stand as testaments to their building skills. Mughal miniature paintings, music, and literature continue to inspire. The empire's influence shaped the food, fashion, and language of the subcontinent. Despite its political decline, the beauty and grandeur created by the Mughals remain a cherished part of India's heritage. The famous Koh-i-Noor diamond, once a part of the peacock throne and carried away by Nader Shah, eventually found its way into the British crown jewels, a sparkling reminder of the empire's lost splendor. Now, as our journey through the Mughal Empire comes to an end, let us take a moment to gently bring our minds back to the present. You can keep your eyes closed, or simply soften your gaze. We will do a final, peaceful body scan. Start by noticing your toes. Feel them resting, perhaps a little heavy. Now, slowly move your awareness up to your feet. Notice how they feel against the bed or floor. Let any tension in your feet simply melt away. Move your attention up to your ankles and then to your calves. Feel the muscles there, and if there is any tightness, just let it go. Your knees are next. Allow them to feel soft and relaxed. Continue up to your thighs. Feel the weight of your legs resting. Let them be heavy and comfortable. Now, bring your awareness to your hips. Allow your hips to sink into whatever surface you are on. Move up to your abdomen. Feel your breath gently rising and falling here. There is no need to change your breathing, just notice it. Now, bring your attention to your chest. Feel the gentle movement of your chest as you breathe. Move your awareness to your shoulders. Often, we hold a lot of tension here. Just imagine your shoulders softening, letting go of any burdens they might be carrying. Let them drop down. Now move to your arms. Feel your upper arms, then your elbows, forearms, wrists, and hands. Let your hands be soft and relaxed, perhaps resting gently at your sides. Finally, bring your attention to your neck and head. Feel the muscles in your neck. Gently release any tension there. Move to your jaw. Let your jaw be loose. Your cheeks, your eyes, your forehead. Let your entire face be soft and peaceful. Feel your whole body resting, heavy and still. You are safe and calm. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Stories for Sleepless Nights. We explored the grandeur and eventual decline of the Mughal Empire, a story filled with powerful rulers, magnificent architecture, and a rich cultural legacy. I truly hope this journey through history helped you to relax, to let go of your thoughts, and to find a sense of peace. Remember, Stories for Sleepless Nights is available on Spotify and YouTube. If there is a particular story or topic you would like us to cover in a future episode, please feel free to share your ideas in the comment box. I am Luna, and I hope to join you again soon for another story. Until then, I wish you a peaceful good night and sweet dreams.